Hi there guys, my name's Caan Berry. I'm a full-time professional Betfair trader. I'm just doing a short clip here just to make everybody aware really, because it has come to my attention that possibly the majority of Betfair customers aren't aware of what they can do with their account. I realise this, got a lot of friends with Betfair accounts, wonder what I'd do, try and tell them, don't quite understand, so hopefully this will clear this up for a lot of people. It's obviously like the best thing about Betfair as far as I'm concerned. It allows you to profit more consistently, control your wins and your losses a little bit easier, and obviously make use of the fact that there's better prices available on Betfair as well, if you're that way inclined. So what we've got in front of us right now is the Betfair site. If you've logged into the exchange side of the Betfair site, you'll have seen this sort of interface before. If you haven't, it might look slightly different. So I'll just explain it for you. Basically what we've got here is the 7:35 at Newton Abbot. There's obviously several runners in this horse race, and by the way, all this can be done on any sport as well. It can be done on football, tennis, both prior to the event, in play, whatever takes your fancy. So we've got several runners in this race here at 7:35 at Newton Abbot. Favourite, Benny's Quest. Jockey underneath. Possibility of pulling up a Betfair graph if you so wish to have a look at the price over time. In the middle here we've got money at the different prices that are available to back should it get to them prices. We've got the available back price as it is currently, which is 2-1 on Benny's Quest here, which is the same as 3.0 in decimal odds. So if we click on that there, back at 3.0, and put our stake in, say we'll go with £200, possible profit £400, liability £200. That's then expressed on the what if side of the site over here by each runner. So as you can see, if Benny's Quest wins in green, we've got 400, or we lose 200 if he doesn't. Adversely, just opposite of the back bets is laying. Now a lot of people don't quite get what laying is. Laying is just the opposite of backing, so it's just taking people's bets. It's exactly what you're doing. You're matching people's bets in the market. So if you used to take a bet at 3.0 for £200 as well, it'd be just the other way around. So your possible liability would be £400, your possible profit would be 200. So it's the complete opposite. And then further to that, we've got the different prices that it would be available to lay should it get to them in time. Now you see it just changed there, so the prices do update routinely, although if you want them to update quickly you need to keep hitting the refresh button just like this, and you see the numbers changing as it gets closer to the start. So that's just one extra thing you can do with Betfair, is you can lay as well as back. But what I prefer to do is both back and lay on the same selection at different prices to guarantee myself some profit. So a lot of people could compare it to maybe financial trading, where you buy at say 3 and then try and sell at 4. So on Betfair, if that was to be the case here in Benny's Quest, and we wanted to buy or take a bet as it were at 3.0, say for our £200, we'd then have the liability of £400, sorry, and the potential profit of £200. The price then went up to 4, say, for example. So we'll make that 4 here in our little box on the site, and we did it for exactly the same stake of £200. There'd be a price difference between 3 and 4, which then means we've both backed and laid, or bought and sell on the same runner, just at different prices. So you can see what happens there. If Benny's Quest wins on this particular bet, the back bet, then we win £600, but we potentially lose £200. But because we laid it as well at 3.0, we potentially lose £400, sorry, and win our original £200 back, as they're the same stake. So if you look over to the what if column on the side of the runners over here, you can see potentially we've cancelled ourselves out on the other runners. We've cancelled our initial bet out, so we don't actually lose anything. But if Benny's Quest goes on to win, we win £200. Now that's nice, but it's not always as easy to pick a big move like that between 3 and 4. But you get the idea. Whether it's one price increment change, or 10, or 20, or 5, there's still potential there to make profit. Obviously, if you get it going the wrong direction, you may have to sell out for a loss as well. But that's the nature of the beast. It's still gambling, but it's gambling on the chance the price will move. Now you can do that both prior to the event starting, as I prefer to, pre-race. You can do it in play while the horses are running, or maybe if it's a football match as the match is playing, or you can do a little bit of both. It really doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you get it in the right direction to make some money. Now you're sitting looking at this thinking, well, that's great, but you took a bit of a risk on that and you've only made £200 if he wins, but nothing on anything else. So what you could then do to take it one step further is change the potential lay stake to a little bit more, just to make sure we get some profit no matter what happens. So you can see if I lay in for £220, yeah, instead of 200, yeah, it changes the figures and it changes the potential outcome. So now should any of these 4 win, we win £20. But if Benny's Quest wins, we win slightly less, we win 160. Now you can carry on moving that all day long until you get sort of a similar price, so 250, so 265 maybe. You can see, so if I laid in for 265 at 3 and backed in for 200 at 4, the difference would mean that we get £65 on these 4, but 70 on this one, which is great because we're in a win-win situation no matter what happens on the event. So basically that's what I do for a living. I back and lay on the same selections, be it tennis, football, horse racing, basketball, whatever you like, based on the fact that I expect the price to go in a certain direction. In play, that could be because something's happening. Prior to the event, it could be just because I predict the price is changing, because we all know that prices change frequently within the markets when placing our bets. Only downside to this is doing it through the site, obviously. It is possible. It's probably a little bit easier with some of the slower moving sports, but horse racing is rather fast. So if you keep clicking the refresh button, you'll see when the prices move as they move. Also, if you want to place your bet, you sort of got to pick your bet, and then you put your stake in, then you put your price in, then you got to go place bets. It says, do you want to place this bet? You go, yes please, and it's a little bit time consuming. So fast moving, we need something that's a little bit faster. Now I'm not here to sell anything software wise, but there are several different softwares out there on the market. Personally I use a Geeks Toy Pro just because in my opinion it's by far the best, head and shoulders above the rest. So what I've done here is I've opened up my Geeks Toy software. I've made it a little bit simpler just because most of you viewing this probably won't have seen it before. And what I've got here is the same race, 7:35 at Newton Abbot. This links into my Betfair account, by the way. And at the moment, I can select whatever runner I like. I've personally selected Miblu, which is the 4th runner in this race here, the 4th runner. You can see he's got the same jockey there, Eddie Lennon, the same as on the site, and the trainer Colin Tizard. So what you're looking at right now, guys, is pretty similar. Well, in fact it's the same, but if you was to turn this on its side, then what you'd have is what you've got there in front of you on the site. So again, you can see on the site, if we refresh, Mid-Blue available to lay at 8.8. obviously it's slightly behind this. This is updating every 200 milliseconds, very fast, very responsive, just what we need. And then these are the available monies outside of the matching price, as it were, to be matched, which is what we've got down here. So these are the bets that are available to be matched on the lay side, so it's available to be backed, and these are bets on the back side available to be laid. So they are just the same as these on the outside, although I can see a little bit further into the market because of the way I've got it laid out. Prices down the middle, and you can see now as it's getting closer to the start of the event that actually bets are going in there. You know, these are people's bets being matched, which is what's popping up here on this chart. I wouldn't get too worried about that. That's just how I've got mine set up. But basically, there's bets coming into the market. You'll see them flash up as they come in. So £10 there at 8.6, which adds to this column down the side, which is also a benefit of having a bit of software as well. You can see where the majority of the money's been matched, which hopefully will help us determine in which direction the price may move. So that's pretty much the interface there, explained. And down the side here we've got a profit and loss column, which will come in handy in a moment, you'll see, because it takes all the pain of working out the different stakes and figures like you may have to through the site to hedge up on our different selections. So all of that taken into consideration, I suppose we should just have to see if we can make a few trades. The other joys of having the software is you've got the one-click betting, so you can see it's outside the price there, but if I click a £50 back bet at 9, it's in straight away. There's no would you like to confirm this bet, yes, no, and all that sort of stuff going on as well. Charts, there's lots of extra charts and bits and bobs like that. I won't sort of confuse you with them now, but if you was to use software at any point, then they're helpful also. So we've got 6 minutes to the start of this race at Newton Abbot, and at the moment it's probably a little bit tricky to decide which direction I think this price is going to head, as it's not so active. But the key thing is to remember, what we can actually do here, because so many people don't even realise that this is possible. So if I was to place, just to show you the profit and loss column down the side here, I'll need to get a bet actually matched. So what I'll do is I place a bet at 7.8, £50 bet at 7.8. There it is in my unmatched bets. Okay, so that's been matched. So now you can see my potential profit on that particular runner would be £340, whereas I'd lose 50 on the others if it lost. Interesting thing is we've got the profit and loss column down the side here, so you can see if it goes up a tick or up a price change, then it's £1.25 loss, whereas if it comes down it's £1.30 profit. And the further it goes, the bigger the numbers get. The bigger the stakes get, the bigger the numbers get. So that's pretty much, in essence, exactly what it is. Now, I'm not too sure if I managed to get it through here at the moment, but if I was to lay it off at 7.8, one tick below, which it looks like I may get now, just wait for that to get matched, hopefully, which it has. You see I've backed it at 7.8, I've then laid it at 7.6 for the same stake. That then means I've got £10 profit if I leave my blue to run, and no loss on any other runners. I'll just change to another runner to show you. So there's no loss on that runner because it would come up in red if I had. Okay, so we go back to my blue. So we've got a potential of £10 profit. Now, down this column here with the profit and loss, you see it slightly varies because of the different hedge value at the different prices. So if I click on this one here at 7.0, it was £1.47. Or sorry, it got matched at 6.8, which is a little bit fortunate. You can see that then across the whole field it's hedged me up. It's hedged up my position across the whole field for £1.47. Win or lose, any runner, I've got £1.47 in the bank. Now it's completely up to you what you do with that. Whether you want to back it in play, or then lay it in play, or or do both, or even just let it run as a bet. But it is a lower risk way of making a little bit of money out of the exchange. So the price is a little bit volatile at the moment. We'll see if we can do this a couple more times before the start, and then see how the race pans out. But that is Betfair trading in a nutshell, in the most basic form. So it's all we're doing is just making use of the different price changes within the market, with the aid of a little bit of software, whichever one you choose, to make things happen a lot faster. Like I think I said earlier, 200 milliseconds this is updating, instead of clicking constantly on the site. So we've got a few minutes. Let's give it a little bit more time. It's potentially looking like this may come in, so I'm just going to back it at 7.4. I spoke too soon, possibly. Not too sure about that now, so we'll lay it at 7.4 once more. So if we back it at 7.4 and then lay it at 7.4, we're actually just cancelling out our original bet, and typically it's just gone in the wrong direction. But I don't really believe it's going to be there long term. So personally, through my own experience and choice, I'm probably going to back this again, which I will. That's 8.0. And maybe once more 8.2. Yeah. If we hold on to that for the moment, There's still the opportunity for this to come back in the opposite direction. Hopefully it will. So you can see the prices here. I've backed it. 7.4 is probably a bit better premature. 8 and 8.2. Come on, keep going. So we're back into profit. I'll take, there we go, one out there, one more there, and one more at 7.6. There we go. And then we can hedge it up for £7.88. Yeah. So if I just put all of them bets on display there for you, number of bets 10. So you can see, originally I backed it at 7.8. I then laid it at 7.6. I hedged up for £1.43. I then backed it at 7.4, 8 and 8.2 as I thought the price would come back in, which it then did. So I then laid it for the same figures 3 times, £350 backs, £350 lays at smaller prices. You see the difference for that has left me a total of 788. Obviously we hedged up at 1.43 earlier, and then we laid it off at 645. So now win, lose or draw, it doesn't really matter. Any runner on the market, I got £7.88. So that, guys, is Betfair trading in a nutshell, with the use of the software, which is very helpful, I must say, at the least. And an alternative way of making money on Betfair's exchanges. I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a go, and all the best.